Hi, and welcome to Catherine Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today I have another comic review for you guys. So, Heroes in Crisis, issue 9 out of 9 just came out here recently, and this has been the series that has seriously divided DC fans, for the most part. So, yes, on the one part, Tom King tearing out my heart every single issue, with many deaths, with many characters becoming villains who I've always considered top tier heroes. But I do highly respect what he's doing with the whole underlying story on mental health and everything that's associated with that. Things that we don't exactly consider all the time with our heroes. But highly respect that. Also, before I get on into this review, if you haven't already read the issues or you haven't already checked out any of my other reviews, please do check out the reviews for issue 1 through 8. I did do reviews of every single one of the issues of this run, so maybe catch yourself back up. But diving right on into the comic the way we normally do, we start off with more confessional tapes. So as you can see here, we've got Jason Blood, we've got the Guardian, Firestorm, Black Lightning, Dove. My favorite on this entire one is Red Robin. So Red Robin starts off our confessional tapes for the Robins. Yes, we do actually get to see all 4 Robins in their confessionals through this. And he says that Dick's the funny, nice one, Jason's the rebellious, cool one, Damian's the cute, mean one. I get it. But what the hell am I? So, of course, he's a Robin, but there are four main Robins. So, where does he fit in? And this is a similar sentiment to what his brother Robins all state as well. So, I did love that inclusion, the fact that they're all kind of unsure where they fit in the Bat family. So, my little Bat family heart's beating. So, Heroes in Crisis. Also, you can see there's Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Harley Quinn, and Girl Bat, all in Blue Beetle's ship. Yes, her name is Girl Bat. It is now Girl Bat because Harley called her that in an earlier issue, and I would love to see a Harley Quinn Girl Bat series. But back to the main story at hand, we see Wally West talking to Wally West, and he's dealing with everything that's happened over the last 5+ days, the deaths at Sanctuary, and him staging so many things to frame both Booster Gold and Harley Quinn so that he could, in fact, live out the next 5 days to put so many things in place. So he's trying to make amends the best way that he can think of, which is to kill himself, or to kill a version of himself and end his own timeline. But we get to see a crash landing of our super duos teamed up. And I do love the fact that Harley Quinn just kind of fell asleep during the crash landing. And Batgirl's got to tell her, honey, time to wake up now. So we do get more confessional tapes. I'll tell you, the confessional tapes in this are probably the best part of this entire issue, because you get to see you get to look at so many different characters that you wouldn't necessarily think would be going to Sanctuary, but it's like, you know what? They all have suffered through something. I mean, we get to see Vixen's there, Nightwing, my boy Nightwing, similar sentiment to his brother earlier. Supergirl is there, Blue Beetle is there, Orphan, Orphan's got all sorts of problems, though. Alright, so as the crash landed, our team shows up. Really gorgeous art throughout with Clayman's work. I mean, amazing. But I do love the fact that Harley is reunited with Poison Ivy, or at least a regrown poison ivy, because the very same rose that Harley threw into the Gotham waterways was actually a rose that was a part of poison ivy, and Wally West did plant it. 5 days later, spurted up a new poison ivy. So she's a plant. I'll accept it. I didn't like the fact that poison ivy was killed off panel, and then we just randomly saw her go, in one panel, and she was just dead. I was very upset about that. But she's back. Very, very happy. Great little moment there. Once again, more of the confessional tapes. Red Hood, my boy, Zatanna. Detective Chimp's really funny on his. He's kind of over the whole poop throwing jokes. Poor Detective Chimp. So, back to Wally West, and 5 days older Wally West is talking to newer Wally West. Yes, he went through the whole time stream and everything, the Speed Force, in order to change so many things that he could without altering anything, and to actually travel to this time to kill himself and then take his body back. And he's trying to talk about what they need to do, what's happened, and he's saying that, I know how you feel. You're not alone. You messed up. But what makes you a hero, what makes everyone a hero, isn't the fact that you never mess up. It's the fact that you admit to your faults and you try to fix them the best way possible. So there's a very long conversation between the two Flashes discussing what exactly needs to happen. Of course, Wally West is broken as to what he did, even though it was a horribly traumatic accident, but the way he handled it after the fact really hurts his hero cred in my eyes, and in the eyes of a lot of other people. And he wants to die as a result. He's ready. He's set in stone that he can't go back and do what Barry did to change the timeline, because what Barry did destroyed Wally's world. That's why he lost his family. That's why Wally's just so broken now. And ultimately they decide that he needs help. And I do love the fact that it's Booster Gold who comes up with the exact idea as to what they need to do to fix all of this. They just need a Wally West. They just need a body for 5 days prior. They don't technically need a dead Wally West. So instead, he does some futuristic mumbo jumbo, actually clones Wally West. It was never actually a living Wally West, and then gives him back to the other Wally West to then travel back. That way his whole timeline will be complete. And the Wally West that is going to be left, Harley Quinn goes to embrace him, telling him, you know what, she's made some horrible mistakes too. And then she just knees him in the crotch as hard as physically possible and says, well, you did kill my girl and frame me. So, yeah. There's some expletives thrown out, and I do love the fact that Tom King's not going to actually have her curse. So, that was pretty great. But continuing on with more of the confessional tapes. I'll tell you, the confessional tapes to me have been some of the strongest parts of this entire thing. I would almost be fine just seeing nothing but confessional tapes throughout, just because pretty awesome. Unfortunately, Wally West does have to pay for his crimes, and he hands himself over to the League. He is handcuffed, where, of course, he's a speedster, fastest man alive, but he surrenders. and we get to see as each of the characters are going back into their day-to-day, into their lives. You know, our blue and gold, really, really awesome throughout this. I'd love to see more blue and gold coming out of DC, but that's kind of where we end up. Wally West is in a Justice League cell, and, you know, still running. So I know a lot of people that thoroughly hate this book, especially my bro on the Comic Core, Drew Manchu, vehemently hates this book. I'll tell you, as a DC fan, I did hurt with a lot of these characters. Wally West is my Flash of choice. I grew up with him as a Teen Titan, as Kid Flash. You know, I grew up reading the 1980s run of the New Teen Titans, but I will tell you, the story of him breaking down as a hero has been a long time coming, and I can't wait to see what DC has in mind for him coming back as a hero, for him atoning for this and coming back on top, because you know there's got to be something planned there. I will tell you, if you haven't been reading this, please do check it out in trade. This is a beautiful story, as heartbreaking as it is. Most crisis stories are, unfortunately, but I do think over the next few years this will probably be more widely respected. Right now, I feel like it's a little too fresh for comic book fans as a whole, so I think everyone who's hating on this book should probably give it a rest and try to take a step back from a lot of the emotion that they're attached to certain characters and think about the bigger story at hand here. Also, it's comics. Our characters, they live, they fight, they die, they come back, unless you're Uncle Ben, because, you know, you need to stay dead, because it's not good when you're around. Or, you know, the Waynes, because we all know what happens when the Waynes are left alive. That's kind of a gloomy storyline as well. But they'll be back. Wally West will be a hero once again. It'll happen. It's comics. Please calm down. Please quit harassing poor Tom King in social media. He's getting enough right now. But throughout, I loved the artwork. I loved the storyline of mental health that was being put out there. I would love to see a deeper dive into just the confessionals surrounding Sanctuary. I know it's probably not going to happen, but it is something that I'm really interested in. I would love to see more of Wally West coping throughout the next several months to a year in comics. We know he's going to be a hero again. He's a Flash. They're not going to keep him locked up for very long. Let's be honest. It was a horrible accident. But yes, that is it for this episode of Cat Run Figures. Please do give me a like if you liked this video. Comment below and tell me what you thought of Heroes in Crisis. Tell me whether or not you are like me, where you can see the story behind it, but it is still heart-wrenching, or tell me whether or not you totally hated it, whether or not you totally loved it. Let's have a little conversation in the comment section below. I do know that they are doing Comic Court on the Comic Core website, the Comic Core YouTube channel, where John's Comics with Kids is going up for supporting Heroes in Crisis, and I do know a number of members throughout the community are going to be arguing one way or the other, so please do check that out. It's going to be going up live, I believe, today, so, you know, see all the viewpoints there. Also, please do subscribe to my channel for more comic book content, or check out any of the older videos I have for offer here on Cat Run Figures. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied there. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye.